Heavy rain and severe thunderstorms impacting central Australia today and tomorrow, moving into much of South Australia and western parts of Victoria into the weekend and early next week. So looking at that in more detail, firstly, severe weather warnings current for a large part of central Australia, including southwest Queensland, southeast Northern Territory, and much of northern and northeastern South Australia. So if you live in this highlighted yellow area or know someone that does, forecast rainfall today and tonight could see 30 to 50 to even 80 millimetres in 6 hours, with isolated totals in excess of 100 millimetres. Now in Birdsville in the last 24 hours, we've seen falls of about over 100 millimetres there, and their average rainfall for the year is around 180 millimetres. So we're seeing widespread flash and riverine flooding through these areas, and we're likely to see that continue to move west and south in the coming days. And a big driver of that will be thunderstorms. So looking at thunderstorm activity tomorrow, we're likely to see severe thunderstorms possible from the Melbourne area, extending through much of central and western Victoria into Adelaide, and then severe thunderstorms likely through much of northern, central and western parts of South Australia, particularly north and west of about Port Augusta. Now in this red highlighted area, severe thunderstorms are likely, with heavy rainfall the main threat, leading to flash and riverine flooding, where in these yellow highlighted areas, severe thunderstorms are possible, and some of those storms could bring flash flooding with that heavy rainfall. But then as we move into Saturday, you'll see that the threat areas almost don't change, as we see round after round in the same area bringing rain and thunderstorms, with the threat area extending from east of Alice Springs through much of inland South Australia and into the Eyre Peninsula, with severe thunderstorms possible around the Adelaide area and down into southwestern Victoria. Again, the main threat with these storms will be heavy rainfall leading to flash flooding. And that could also lead to road closures and possible inundations of homes and properties, depending exactly where those thunderstorms form and occur. So let's look at all of that in more detail. So today you can see the main threat area really is that kind of NT Queensland border and into northern parts of South Australia. But overnight tonight into tomorrow, that moisture will move west and south across South Australia and also get into parts of Victoria as well. So by tomorrow afternoon, we're likely to see a band of rain and storms from northern South Australia through southern and eastern areas, and then also into western parts of Victoria. Then as we move through Friday night into Saturday, we'll see that rain and thunderstorm activity continue through much of South Australia, particularly southern areas, and even starting to get into the Adelaide area by Saturday afternoon and Saturday night, and then becoming more persistent and heavy rainfall as we move through Saturday night into Sunday morning through much of central and eastern South Australia, and then starting to get into western parts of Victoria as well as we get into Sunday night and Monday. Now 3 days of widespread rain and storms means we're going to have widespread rainfall of 50 to 100 millimetres across much of northern, inland and then southern South Australia, and even getting into western parts of New South Wales and Victoria. We could even see isolated falls even higher than that, particularly up around the NT Queensland border and with any thunderstorms that are slow moving across inland South Australia. And while initially the first maybe 20 to 40 millimetres might be welcome in southern parts of South Australia, once we start talking about 50 to 100 millimetres, or of that rainfall falling in just a few hours, flash flooding will become a major concern in particularly southern parts of South Australia. Now, with all this rainfall that we've had this week and a lot more rainfall to come in southern parts of the country, you can imagine there is widespread flood watches and flood warnings current for much of the country. Queensland currently has major flooding through parts of the Georgina River and also on the Flinders River, with minor flooding and moderate flooding through many of our inland rivers, creeks and streams through Queensland. While in the Northern Territory and South Australia, these purple areas here show flood watches. So that means if you live in these highlighted areas, forecast rainfall in the coming days means that we're likely to see flash and riverine flooding in these purple highlighted areas over the weekend and into early next week with that heavy rainfall. So as you can imagine, with this widespread heavy rainfall, there'll be numerous impacts. Flash flooding will be the main concern, and that could lead to road closures and possible inundations of homes, properties and businesses. Also going to lead to dangerous and driving conditions and travel conditions across much of inland South Australia and western Victoria, particularly on that Sunday and and Monday timeframe. And as I mentioned earlier, while the initial 20 to 50 millimetres might be welcome for some of our agriculture sector, once we start talking about 50 and 100 millimetres, we can start washing away topsoil and causing those flash flood issues there. So with a lot of weather likely to come through much of southeastern Australia, particularly South Australia and Victoria in the coming days, make sure you stay up to date with the latest forecasts and warnings via our website and app, and listen to any advice from emergency services, and we'll continue to keep you updated here at the Bureau.